Most people believe they're poor because they don't earn enough money. But what if the real reason has nothing to do with income? What if two people can earn the exact same paycheck, live in the same city, face the same expenses, and still end up in completely different financial futures? One remains trapped in a cycle of stress, debt, and constant struggle. The other quietly builds security, freedom, and eventually wealth. The difference isn't income, it's psychology. Because long before wealth appears in a bank account, it appears in the mind. We live in a culture obsessed with income. People constantly ask how to make more money, find better jobs, negotiate higher salaries, or discover the next big opportunity. While income matters, it is only one part of the equation. The uncomfortable truth is that many people who earn more money never become wealthy. At the same time, some individuals with surprisingly modest incomes slowly build financial stability over decades. The reason is simple. Wealth is less about what enters your life and more about what happens after it arrives. Human beings naturally focus on visible problems. A low paycheck feels like the obvious obstacle. But psychology teaches us that behavior often matters more than circumstances. Two people can receive the same amount of money and make entirely different decisions. One spends immediately to satisfy emotional desires. The other pauses, plans, and allocates resources toward future goals. Over time, those small differences compound into dramatically different outcomes. This is where the psychology of delayed gratification becomes so powerful. In one of the most famous psychological experiments, children were given a choice. They could enjoy a small reward immediately or wait and receive a larger reward later. Researchers discovered something fascinating. The ability to delay gratification was often linked to better long-term outcomes in many areas of life. The same principle applies to money. Every financial decision contains a hidden battle between the present self and the future self. The present self wants comfort, excitement, convenience, and instant rewards. The future self wants security, freedom, options, and peace of mind. Wealth is often built when the future self wins more of those battles than the present self. Unfortunately, modern society constantly encourages the opposite. Advertisements are designed to trigger emotional spending. Social media creates endless comparison. Every day, people are exposed to images of luxury lifestyles, expensive vacations, designer clothing, and symbols of status. The result is that many purchases have little to do with actual need. They are emotional responses disguised as rational decisions. Emotional spending is one of the greatest wealth destroyers because it feels good in the moment. A stressful day at work becomes an excuse for a shopping spree. Feelings of insecurity become a reason to buy expensive items that signal success. Boredom turns into online purchases. Anxiety becomes retail therapy. The problem is not the purchase itself. The problem is using spending as an emotional coping mechanism. What makes this even more dangerous is that financial habits eventually become unconscious patterns. The brain loves efficiency. Behaviors repeated often enough become automatic. Just as someone can unconsciously reach for their phone dozens of times a day, they can also develop automatic spending habits. Small financial decisions stop feeling like decisions at all. They become routines. Many people unknowingly operate on scripts they learned years ago. Some grew up believing money disappears as quickly as it arrives. Others learned that wealth is only for certain types of people. Some associate spending with happiness because that was the example they witnessed growing up. These beliefs often operate beneath conscious awareness, quietly influencing behavior every single day. This brings us to one of the most important psychological differences between wealthy thinking and scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking constantly focuses on what is missing. It creates a mindset of survival. Every decision becomes driven by short-term pressure. Every financial setback feels catastrophic. Every opportunity seems too far away. Wealthy thinking, on the other hand, focuses on building. It doesn't require someone to already be rich. It is simply a different way of viewing resources. Instead of asking, "What can I buy today?" wealthy thinking asks, "What can I build tomorrow?" Instead of seeking immediate consumption, it seeks long-term leverage. Instead of chasing appearances, it values ownership. This is why discipline often matters more than income. A person earning a modest salary with consistent financial discipline can gradually accumulate assets, savings, and investments. Meanwhile, someone earning significantly more can remain financially fragile if their spending grows alongside every increase in income. One of the most common psychological traps is lifestyle inflation. Imagine receiving a raise. Logically, this creates an opportunity to strengthen your financial future. But many people immediately increase their spending to match their new earnings. The larger apartment, the newer car, the upgraded subscriptions, and the more expensive habits quickly absorb the additional income. The result is a strange paradox. Income rises, but financial freedom remains unchanged. People continue feeling trapped despite earning more than ever before. They mistake a higher standard of living for actual wealth. In reality, wealth is not measured by how much money passes through your hands. It is measured by how much remains under your control. Patience plays a critical role here. Modern culture celebrates speed, instant delivery, instant entertainment, instant communication. But wealth creation operates on a completely different timeline. It rewards consistency rather than excitement. It rewards patience rather than urgency. A person who saves a small amount regularly may not see dramatic results in a month or even a year. But over a decade, the outcome becomes extraordinary. This is because wealth is often built through compounding. Small actions repeated consistently create results that appear disproportionate to the effort involved. The fascinating part is that most financial outcomes are created long before they become visible. Just as a tree grows underground before breaking through the surface, wealth often develops silently. The daily decision not to overspend, the habit of saving before spending, the willingness to think long-term. These behaviors rarely receive attention, but they quietly shape the future. When people look at someone who has built financial security, they often focus on the visible result. They see the house, the investments, the freedom, or the stability. What they don't see are the thousands of invisible decisions that made those outcomes possible. The small sacrifices, the disciplined choices, the moments when immediate pleasure was exchanged for future opportunity. In the end, building wealth on a low income is not about performing financial miracles. It is about mastering human behavior. It is about understanding that money follows psychology far more often than psychology follows money. The habits you repeat, the emotions you control, the decisions you make when nobody is watching, these are the forces that shape your financial future. Because wealth is not primarily a financial game, it is a psychological game. The bank account is only the scoreboard. The real battle happens in the mind. And those who learn to master their thoughts before their income eventually discover a truth that most people spend their entire lives missing. Money grows where discipline lives, but wealth grows where psychology is understood.